The first officer thought he was listening to a dying man's final goodbye. He was wrong. The young man lying in a pool of blood didn't ask for help. He didn't beg for his life. Instead, he used what little strength he had to whisper just 3 words. She planned everything. Then he lost consciousness. Those 3 words would destroy the perfect image of the woman everyone believed loved him, and launch an investigation that uncovered lies hidden behind smiling photographs, romantic vacations, and a relationship that looked flawless from the outside. But here's the question detectives couldn't answer. If she planned everything, why was she still at the scene pretending to save him? For nearly 2 years, Ethan Carter, 28, and Lena Brooks, 26, looked like the couple everyone envied. Friends described them as inseparable. Their social media showed weekend trips, anniversary dinners, surprise gifts, and endless captions about forever. But investigators would later discover something disturbing. The happiest photos were often posted just hours after explosive arguments. Neighbors remembered hearing shouting through apartment walls. Coworkers noticed Ethan becoming unusually quiet. Then came an even stranger discovery. Just 6 days before he was attacked, Ethan had secretly met with an attorney. No one knew why. At least, not yet. At 10:42 p.m., emergency dispatch received a frantic call. Lena was crying uncontrollably. She claimed someone had broken into their apartment. When officers arrived, Ethan was barely alive. Furniture had been overturned. A window was shattered. The apartment looked like the aftermath of a violent struggle. Everything pointed toward a home invasion. Everything, except Ethan's final words. Because while paramedics fought to keep him alive, he looked directly at one detective and whispered, "She planned everything." Why accuse the woman begging doctors to save him? And if she was guilty, who had actually attacked him? The apartment told 2 completely different stories. The broken window suggested an intruder entered from outside, but the shattered glass was lying outside the building. Someone had broken the window from the inside. Then detectives found something even stranger. There were no unidentified fingerprints, no forced entry, nothing stolen. The expensive watches remained untouched. Cash sat openly on the kitchen counter. Even Ethan's laptop was still there. It wasn't a robbery. It was a performance. But performances require rehearsals. And detectives had just found their first clue. Remember that meeting with the attorney? Detectives finally learned why Ethan had gone. He wanted legal advice before ending the relationship. Not because of cheating. Not because of money. Because he believed someone was slowly trying to isolate him from everyone he trusted. Friends had mysteriously stopped calling. Family members said Ethan suddenly became distant. Even his bank accounts showed unusual transfers he couldn't explain. Then investigators searched Ethan's phone. Hidden inside a password-protected folder was a voice recording. In it, Ethan calmly said, "If anything happens to me, don't believe it was random." Suddenly, his dying words no longer sounded like confusion. They sounded like a warning. Lena insisted she had been in the bathroom when the attacker struck. It sounded believable, until detectives checked the apartment's smart home system. Motion sensors, door logs, voice assistant activity. The digital timeline contradicted nearly everything she had said. There had been no unknown visitor. No one entered. No one left. Then security cameras from a neighboring building captured the final missing piece. Minutes before calling emergency services, Lena calmly walked outside carrying a small trash bag. When officers later recovered it, inside were blood-stained gloves and clothing. The staged break-in had begun to unravel, and Ethan's final words suddenly became the strongest evidence of all. Confronted with the mounting evidence, Lena's carefully crafted story collapsed. Investigators concluded the attack had been staged to resemble a random home invasion after Ethan revealed he intended to leave the relationship and expose months of manipulation and financial deception. His final words weren't an emotional accusation. They were his last attempt to tell investigators where to look. A jury later found the evidence overwhelming, and Lena was convicted for orchestrating the attack. In the end, the most important witness never testified in court. He had already spoken. Just 3 words. She planned everything. Sometimes the truth doesn't arrive through a confession. Sometimes it survives in a final whisper, just long enough for justice to hear it. Top of form, bottom of form,